In this episode, after almost 2 weeks of cold food and drinks, we mount the hose from the propane bottle to the stove. And yes, believe it or not, from now on we can cook. Hi, my name is Anna and this is my husband Leif Erik. He came up with this idea to build a simple catamaran, put it in a container and send it from ice-cold Norway to Tahiti in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. This way we could start sailing in paradise. I said, what a crazy idea. Let's do it. This is the adventure of building and sailing BareBare. And the story starts when finally coming back after 3 years of the pandemic. It's another lovely day in paradise in Tahitian, and as usual I had been up writing my diary from 2 to 4 at night, and then I had slept like a baby up at 6 o'clock. I was sitting in the front of the boat enjoying the sun slowly rise, listening to the sounds from the reef and the roosters from land. I had finished my first and second cup of instant iced coffee and eaten my 2.5 biscuits. French, very good, with lots of butter. And why 2.5? Because the package had 5 and we would share equally like good friends. And Anna, she usually woke up later than me and she would very often give me her 1/2, which I truly enjoyed. What a good friend Anna is. At home, I usually drink 1 whole pot of tea, approximately 1 liter in the morning, like in a huge big cup like this. Hot tea, hot tea or cold or hot coffee in the morning is really nice. I think we can all agree on that. And before arriving BareBare, I had asked Daniel if the propane stove worked, and he happily answered without any hesitation whatsoever. Yes, it works. It works perfectly well. I somehow got the feeling that someone had done quite a bit of cooking on board BareBare while we were gone, but well, never mind. So when we arrived BareBare, we checked the stove and it did work for about, let's say, 30 seconds. Then it didn't work at all. And was the stove broken or were we just out of propane? I mean, if the stove was broken, was it possible to get it fixed? It was a really old one, or was it possible to get a new one on this tiny island? But we made up our mind, looked at each other and said, it's not broken, we just need to buy propane. No problem, or aita pea. As you can hear, my Tahitian is picking up really well. We decided to take the 11-kilo propane bottle and hitchhike to town. We were both sure it would be of no problem. A bit later we agreed it would maybe not be such a good idea to hitchhike with propane. Anyway, decided to go for lukewarm or rather luke-cold coffee, which meant the temperature of the day, usually around 27 degrees Celsius. We also had our tea the same way, and tea, especially a brand called Lady Grey in tea bags, tasted so good this way. It was somehow the hint of bergamot citrus tasted even better this way of brewing tea. I would of course add some vanilla sugar, and we still had sugar with a nice vanilla stick left on BareBare before the pandemic. And for food, we had tapas. Tapas for breakfast, tapas for lunch, and tapas for dinner, which meant some sort of cold food and bread. After about a week of our stay, Daniel was going to town in his dinghy, and we managed to get a ride with him. And this time, luckily, both ways. So we bought a new and lovely green propane bottle in the local gas station, and quickly, you know, Daniel never stays for a long time. Quickly, we headed back to our beautiful bay. I must admit, it's the most beautiful lagoon, looking towards land and towards the reef when you go in a dinghy. I could happily take this trip every day, and of course do it much slower. Anna and I, we left the propane bottle on the deck, and it was not only for 1 day or 2 days, or not 3 days, but for 4 days. And on the 5th, we looked at each other and simultaneously said, wouldn't it be nice with a hot meal? It had been 2 weeks with tapas and a few times poisson cru in town. Poisson cru is raw fish in coconut milk and lime, so you know, cold food, and it was so good. It was actually served with rice, and the rice was warm, or at least lukewarm. So we had a few, not hot meals, but lukewarm meals. And how hard could it be? To change a propane bottle couldn't be really hard. We agreed that we didn't need Google to help us with this task. I attached the orange hose from the stove to the propane bottle. Using a screwdriver from our toolbox, you know, after Anne organized the toolbox, it was very easy to find out the tools we needed. And Anne attached a thing on the top, which we think is called a gas regulator, or just the thing on the top. We couldn't decide.
Vi prøver.
Yes!
Hvor lenge skal jeg slippe?
Nei, jeg vet ikke. Vanligvis så det. And believe it or not, it worked. It worked. The only minor problem was that we had to hold on to the button on the stove at all times. Otherwise it would stop working. And we were all prepared to cooperate, making a hot meal, me holding the button and Anna cooking. A bit complicated and tricky, but it would work. One of us, and I don't remember who, it was probably Anna, came up with an excellent idea to give the button some CRC. It's some sort of spray grease. We did have a box of this wonderful product, and yes, it worked. I did not have to hold on to the button anymore. And life can, by seconds, become very easy. Anna made us a wonderful pasta sauce out of almost nothing. I opened a bottle of wine, we looked happily at each other and said skål, that's in Norwegian, and maloya in Tahitian, that's, you know, cheers. And I must say, that meal tasted like heaven. Our mast was of course to fit the container. We decided to make it 11.37 meters, a tiny bit shorter than a container. We wanted to make it as light as possible to be able to hoist it by ourselves using ropes. To make things as easy as possible was always on our minds. To be able to repair easily and to do as much as possible ourselves. Leif Erik had built the mast for our gaff-rigged wooden boat Dvina, and he had built it hollow to make it light. He had used a technique called bird's mouth, and by now he had thought out a similar but even a simpler way to build a mast for BareBare. We cut the planks in the right shape in different lengths, but as long as possible. We started with 4 by 10 by 10 centimeter beams. Then we cut the corners off and shaped the inside to make it octagonal. It was done quick and easy on the machines in Jan's workshop. next was close to magic. Mixing buckets and buckets of epoxy and gluing all the pieces together.
Well, I gave you all my love and I gave you all my trust and I gave you everything that you need. But you only told me lies and you made me realize that, babe, you ain't no good for me. I can't be with you, you can't be true. And I know just what I got to do. Gonna hit the ground running, running, running just as fast as I can. Gonna hit the ground running, running, running just as fast as I can. Ooh. Well, you're begging me to stay, but I'm going my own way, and the skies ain't looking cloudy or gray. I won't even roll the dice so that you can't play me twice, no babe. Who do you think I am? Well, I'm gonna take my own road, and I'm sorry, baby, you can't go. Gotta hit the ground running, running, running just as fast as I can. Gotta hit the ground running, running, running just as fast as I can. Well, I know you say you're sorry and that you do right, but babe, who do you take me for? Yes, I see you crying, but before those tears are drying, baby, I'm headed for that running just as fast as I can. Gonna hit the ground running, running, running just as fast as I can. Gonna hit the ground running. Ooh. Oh, running, baby, baby, running, running now. Ooh. Running just as fast as I'm running, just as fast as I can.
I look inside the hole and see if I can see the other end. Oddvar? Yes, you can. It's very nice. You can see through it. Yes, no problem. Yeah. It's marvelous.
Oddvar! Hi, Oddvar! When all dry, we would shape it from octagonal, like 8, to finally a round mast. We should maybe have done some extra adjustments to make it completely straight. But as we would later say, it is straight enough. Thank you for watching this video. I put out new videos every second Friday, and Fridays in between I put out a short story of the building part. If you like what you see, subscribe and hit the buttons, and it's free. And if you want to support me, check out Patron, PayPal or Coffee. And patrons get the videos earlier, and they also get some extra material. And beside that, I have started making mugs for each episode. Check them out and please start collecting. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And you will find all links in the description below. Massive thanks to everyone who supports this project. It makes a huge difference.